You ever hear a sentence in English and your brain just goes, wait, that's not right, but you can't quite put your finger on why? Well, today in The Explainer, we are going to crack the code on one of the most common grammar puzzles out there.
Okay, so take this sentence right here. I am wanting a coffee. I mean, it seems like it should be fine, right? We say, I am drinking a coffee, but for some reason, I am wanting a coffee just sounds, well, wrong. The real question is, why?
So this isn't just some random, weird thing in English. It's actually a really important rule. It all comes down to a special group of verbs, the ones that, for a fascinating reason, just hate having an ing slapped onto the end of them.
So yeah, the simple fix is we say I want, not I'm wanting. Easy enough. But just memorizing rules is kind of boring. And honestly, it doesn't really work. Understanding the logic behind it, that's what makes it click and stick with you for good.
Okay, so here it is. This is the secret to the whole thing. It all boils down to one simple but powerful idea: the difference between an action verb and a state verb. Let's define these things. Stative verbs, or stative verbs if you want to get technical, they don't describe you doing anything. Instead, they describe, well, a state of being. They're about things that are just kind of true about you at a certain moment. Your thoughts, your feelings, what you can see or hear. It's not an action, it's more like a status. Let's make this super clear. On one side, you have an action verb, I'm running. That's something you do, right? It's physical, it's in progress. But now, look at the other side, a state verb, I know the answer. See the difference? Knowing isn't something you're actively doing. It's a state you're in. You either know it or you don't. There's no process of knowing that you can watch happen.
And here they are, the usual suspects. These are some of the most common state verbs. You can see the pattern, right? They're all about internal things. What you feel or desire, like want and need. What you're thinking, like know or believe. Or just how things are, like seem or contain. As a general rule, you're not going to add ing to these guys.
But, just when you think you've got a handle on it, English loves to throw a curveball. Some verbs can actually be both state and action verbs. It all just depends on what they mean in the sentence. So let's look at the two biggest culprits: think and be.
Okay, let's break down think. When you're just stating an opinion, it's a state. I think Mary is Canadian. That's just your belief. But when you are actively using your brain, when the gears are turning and you're considering something, it becomes an action. I'm thinking about what happened. You're in the process of thinking.
And the verb be is just as tricky. If you say, he is selfish, you're making a statement about his personality. It's a general trait, a state of his character. But if you say, he is being selfish, that's completely different. Now you're talking about his behavior right now, in this specific moment. It's a temporary action, and it's something he can control.
And this sentence just nails it perfectly. I can't understand why he's being so selfish. He isn't usually like that. It works because it contrasts that temporary action, being selfish, with his normal state of being. He isn't usually like that. That little ing signals that this is unusual, temporary behavior.
Okay, moving on. This same state versus action logic applies to another key group of verbs, the ones we use for our senses. See, hear, smell, taste. They have their own quirks too.
Think about it. Most of our senses are passive. Your eyes are open, so you just see. Your nose is just there, so it smells. It's not really a deliberate action. That's why we ask, do you see that man? The same goes for smell and taste. When you say, this soup doesn't taste very good, the soup isn't doing anything, it just has a state of tasting bad.
But, of course, there are always exceptions. The verbs look and feel are special. When you're talking about how someone seems or what their condition is right now, both forms are totally fine. You look well and you're looking well mean pretty much the same thing. Same with how do you feel and how are you feeling? Both are perfectly natural.
Okay, enough theory. We've gone through the rules, we've looked at the exceptions. Now it's time to see if you've got it. Let's do a quick quiz to put it all into practice. You ready?
First one up, you see someone across the room, and you ask your friend, who is that man? What? And you need to use the verb want.
How do you finish that question? Is want a state or is it an action?
The correct answer is, what does he want? Yep. Want is a classic state verb. It's a desire, a state of being, not something he's actively doing. Great start.
All right, next one. She told me her name, but and the verb is not remember. So is it I don't remember it or I'm not remembering it?
And you got it. It's I don't remember it. Remembering is a mental state. The information is either there in your brain or it isn't. It's not a process you perform. You're getting the hang of this.
Okay, last question. And this is the tricky one we talked about. You're normally very patient, so why, using the verb be, do we say, why are you so unreasonable? Or why are you being so unreasonable?
And the answer is, why are you being so unreasonable? This is that special case. The sentence is pointing out a temporary behavior that's different from their normal patient state. Fantastic job.
So if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this question. Anytime you're not sure about using an ing verb, just pause and ask yourself, is this an action or is it a state? That one question will solve it almost every time.
And that really makes you think, doesn't it? This isn't just some random rule from a grammar book. It's a window into how the English language sees the world, the difference between who we are and what we do. It leaves me wondering what other grammar rules are secretly just about how we perceive and categorize everything around us. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.